Hey everyone, Doctors Nicole and Rachel here from Sprout Family Chiropractic, talking to all of you parents, especially those with school-age kids. We know many of you feel the back-to-school whirlwind just as much as your kids, so we wanted to talk directly to you on this Whiteboard Wednesday and tell you 3 tips to avoiding burnout. Let's start with the end in mind when it comes to burnout. We all know that all you moms and dads are doing the very best you can when it comes to juggling things like taking your kids to school, new schedules, trying to stay active, making nutritious meals for your family, your job, all of this on top of helping your kids out with their homework, making sure they get to bed on time, fitting in quality time with your partner. There just doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day, so these 3 tips are going to help you avoid feeling overwhelmed and allow you to juggle all of those things and more. So let's get into it with Dr. Rachel starting us off.
Thanks, Dr. Nicole. So our first tip is all about what you're putting in your body, specifically those afternoon pick-me-ups. Now, we love coffee, tea, iced, hot, anything and everything. We love it all. Like many of you, it's a part of our morning routine just as much as waking up is. The thing that gets us though is the timing of those pick-me-ups. With how busy you parents are, sometimes it feels like your battery or your energy reserves are depleted more days than not. And you just gotta reach for that Americano after lunch or an iced tea or a pumpkin spice latte if that's your thing. Well, the thing about having these delicious drinks in the afternoon is that the caffeine stays in your system for a lot longer than you may think, because caffeine has an average half-life of 5 to 7 hours. What does that mean? Let's say you have a cup of coffee after your lunch around 3:30 p.m. It means that by 9:30 p.m., 50% of that caffeine may still be active and circulating throughout your brain. In other words, by 9:30 at night, you're only halfway to completing the job of cleansing your brain of the caffeine you drank in the afternoon. So if we take a step back and look at what our normal afternoon habits are, our first tip is to try avoiding caffeine after 2 p.m. This is really going to let your brain and your body actually wind down when it's time for bed. We've already talked about how important sleep is for kids in another video, but for you parents, being able to actually slow down is so critical because you're doing everything. Taking care of your kids, working, taking care of yourself, and all of that requires your brain to be able to pause so you can actually get restful sleep. So what we suggest is substituting caffeinated drinks with fresh fruit or dried fruit after 2 p.m. Fruit's going to give you that natural boost of energy with the sugar, and with fresh fruit, blueberries and raspberries are great because they're also rich in antioxidants, but we love anything citrus because it provides that juicy zing that kind of helps wake you up. As for dried fruit, make sure it's only the fruit because a lot of dried fruit that you find in the store has added sugar, and we definitely don't want that. Now, our next tip is all about what you're doing before bed and what your evening habits are. So if you feel like you're dragging your feet in the morning and you're starting with your energy tank on E, this second tip is going to help. The second tip is to stop using tech 3 hours before bed. You've probably heard a lot about the effects of blue light at night or have blue light glasses already, but don't really know exactly what's so great about them. So blue light itself isn't bad. The sun is actually a source of blue light, but it's about when you're exposing your eyes and brain to the blue light. We have what's called our circadian rhythm. That's also known as our internal clock, and it's responsible for things like sleeping, waking, hormone release, body temperature, and digestion. And it's really important to allow our internal clock to do what it needs to do naturally without interference because it dictates sleeping patterns, blood pressure, blood sugar, melatonin levels, and general alertness. And this internal clock is influenced by our environment. What blue light does is it suppresses the pineal gland's secretion of the hormone melatonin. The pineal gland is located in the middle of your brain, and it's important because when it allows melatonin to be secreted, it lets your brain know that it's time to go to bed and to start that regenerative sleep that each of us need. When melatonin secretion is suppressed, blue light can cause sleep deprivation. Your body won't get the rest it needs, which means your energy levels are going to start off way lower at the beginning of the day because of your nighttime routine. On the flip side, blue light's actually a good thing in the morning and during the day, especially if you're getting it from natural sources like the sun because it helps with alertness. But at night, when your brain should be hitting that brake pedal, slowing down, getting ready to rest, we really want to limit that blue light. So instead of watching TV or being on your phone, what we recommend is reading or listening to an audiobook, or you can listen to music. All of these are great options because they don't require you to be in front of a screen, and best of all, you can do them with your kids too. So now Dr. Nicole is going to tell us about that third and final tip.
So one of the reasons parents tell us they are exhausted is because they are juggling so many things that it gets to be really stressful. And the unfortunate thing about stress is that not only does it accumulate, but it compounds. If you think of a time that you've felt stressed, how likely was it that even the smallest thing irritated you? What's more is not only does every new stress feel that much more stressful, but when we get overwhelmed or at that burnout point, sometimes we feel like we can't even do the things we normally can do. We see this so clearly in kids when they get past their breaking point, when they get stressed out, either because they're tired and exhausted or because they're just overwhelmed with everything that they have to do. They have meltdowns and tantrums. They can't do anything but just try to release the stress they're feeling. It's the same with adults, it's just that we don't usually have meltdowns and tantrums. Instead, what we see in adults is that stress overload shows up as fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, lack of motivation, among other things. What's really happening at a neurological level is your body's stress response system, the nervous system, has been stuck in a fight or flight state, or what we call a sympathetic state. The nervous system, the master control system that's responsible for keeping every organ, tissue, and cell in balance, can itself become imbalanced, where it gets stuck on that gas pedal. It gets to a point where your body's stress response system is always go, 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 nonstop, and it essentially forgets how to slow down and relax when nothing stressful is going on. When your nervous system can't step on the brake pedal, what we call being in a more parasympathetic state, it drains your entire body of the energy and resources it needs to do other things like proper immune function, digestion, metabolism, cellular regeneration, and growth. This is why it's so important to know whether your nervous system is in balance between that gas and brake pedal, because stress plays such an enormous role when it comes to your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So our third tip is all about doing just that, stress management, rebalancing your body's stress response system. Especially for you parents, your kids feed off of your energy and subconsciously take on your stress. If you're feeling run down, worn out, and you have less patience because your nervous system can't hit the brake pedal, your kids are going to feel that and feed off of that too. So that's why our third tip is getting adjusted regularly. We are all about rebalancing your nervous system through chiropractic and restoring balance to it. We use something called insight scans that help us see where you fall between the gas and the brake pedal, how your body's managing current stress, how well your body would be able to adapt to future stress. These scans really dive deep and drive the care in our office because it informs us how long your care plan should be, how frequently you should be coming in, and each chiropractic adjustment reprograms your stress response system to recognize when it should slow down and relax so that you can get the most out of the other two tips we talked about and anything else that you're doing already to stay healthy. You're meditating already, exercising, eating clean, all of it. So these are our 3 tips. If you're wondering why your body just can't hit that brake pedal and you want to know more about how we can help keep you feeling recharged regardless of the never-ending list of things you parents have to do every day, send us a message. We'll make sure you're able to fire on all cylinders so you can keep up with your kids. And if you know someone who would benefit from these 3 tips, please send this video to them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.